Markets is underwritten by Janney Montgomery Scott, trusted advisors for generations.
Welcome back. It's Thursday. Stephen Carleton, First Vice President Janney Montgomery Scott, checking in with our weekly look at finance.
Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon. Big story today on the markets. Wal-Mart releasing some numbers, not so good numbers for Wal-Mart. Let me break them down and let's have a conversation. Let's take a look at those numbers that we have. Wal-Mart, 1.3% rise in second quarter profits. We're saying a rise. That's not really good news for them, though. They earned $4.07 billion in the second quarter. U.S. sales were up just 2.1%. On the look of it, things were all right at Walmart, but these numbers are much lower than they should be.
Well, you know, that's a great question, David, because Walmart's kind of the barometer for this country. You know, there used to be the saying, you know, where GM goes, so goes America. What's happening with Walmart is a barometer because GDP, about 70% of our gross domestic product, is consumption. What better proxy is there than Walmart to look at how the health of this nation is when it comes to consumer spending? So the fact that we're seeing forward guidance, what Walmart is saying, what they expect to see for the next 2 quarters of this year as slowing down, as not as profitable, that's not a good indicator. We're really looking to see things continue to go as they were, maybe even accelerate. They didn't say that today.
Yeah, people aren't shopping at Walmart. They're not shopping at places like Macy's, places like JCPenney, which are already struggling. You know, Macy's came out and they said that they'd also dimmed its forecast for the path ahead.
Yeah, this is, you know, I said the canary in the coal mine earlier. We're seeing that on a lot of the retail stores. They're seeing that consumers are pulling back. You know, the things that we're seeing at Walmart is people are only spending the money on things that they have to spend. Yeah. They're not getting the extra things, and we're seeing that in the breakdown on stores like Macy's. People are becoming much more selective. They're waiting for the sales, and if it's not on sale, they're not buying it.
Yeah, and of course this had an impact on the markets today. The market's down considerably on news like this.
Yeah, you know, the market reacted very strongly, a lot of volume, which means there was a lot of sellers coming in, you know, 7-8 week high now, and being down 220 some points, that's not typically what we've seen for quite a while now. So people were not enthusiastic about it, but it wasn't just Walmart. It was interest rates going up. You know, we talked about mortgages and being more expensive. It was, you know, some other things.
Yeah, mortgage applications down considerably because the rates are rising.
Yeah, people are holding back on buying these mortgage or getting these homes because interest rates have gone up so much. I mean, we talked about this, you know, 3-4 months ago that the door was closing and it was going to get increasingly difficult. That's happening now.
All right, we have some jobless numbers to talk about. This is all really a cycle here. We're talking about Walmart, what's going on there, mortgage rates, people not being able to afford to get their key in the door of their first home. The U.S. jobless numbers out today, they're all right. There's still, you know, some growth there in that sector. New York's unemployment rate flat for July, so flat from June, 7.5%. Even though most of the state, the job losses are in the southern half. So, you know, these numbers also are playing into what's going on here with the economic picture.
You know, one of the things I've learned over the years is that sometimes the statistics can hide what's really going on underneath. And if you go into the communities and you actually talk to the average family out there, the stock market has done very, very well over the last number of years. But the American families in general are not keeping pace with that. They're not feeling that growth that the stock market has seen. So I think there's a lot of frustration that the average American family has not kept pace with inflation, hasn't got the kind of jobs that they wanted. They've gotten part-time jobs or consulting jobs with very little benefits, maybe no medical coverage. So yes, unemployment numbers are better, but you know, we've talked a lot about living wage and how families need to make more money as inflation happens. The average American's having a hard time with this right now.
Well, if you're getting a part-time job, your salary is less, obviously, than your full-time job. You're not getting the benefits. You've got to find the money for that somewhere. Yep. And on top of that, you got to put dinner on the table and pay the rent check and everything. It's just everybody's been stretched much further.
Yeah, I think the middle class, the average American family is not feeling a lot of the enthusiasm that the higher-up portions of the market are feeling. So I think there's still a lot of frustration. When we looked at some of the numbers coming out today and yesterday about what people's view on the economy were, things were not looking good. When they think of, you know, the Congress and think of what the president's doing, there's a lot of negativity about what those numbers represent.
All right. Another story we've talked about here on the couch is the SEDC in Saratoga County, the Economic Development Authority in Saratoga County. Of course, the county split ways with them earlier this year. A bit of a controversial move. The county wants to spend their own money on filling that position rather than outsourcing it to another agency. Today in Warren County, the announcement that Ed Bartholomew, who's the City of Glens Falls Economic Development Director, is the new president of the Warren County EDC. And come January 1, that agency will take over economic development for the City of Glens Falls. So Ed's leaving, Economic Development Director of Glens Falls, to join this agency, and with him he's taking his role that he did at the city at a cost of $30,000 annually to the City of Glens Falls. So obviously a savings there.
And it was a smart move.
We're seeing a reverse, though, of what's happening in Saratoga County.
Yeah, it was really fascinating when you first showed me this article, and we talked a little bit about the details underneath it. And congratulations to Ed, because this was a lot of research went into this. This was a competition, not just locally. And for him to land this is a great indicator of the great job that he has done over the years. But Glens Falls picking up the only $30,000 to replace that, what a smart move, because the evidence has proven, especially with Saratoga over the last 10 years, that's money well spent.
It's money well spent. We saw with the SEDC down here that they attracted global foundries. They did all these different things, and of course, Ed Bartholomew has a proven track record, having been one of the youngest mayors in Glens Falls, built the Civic Center, all that. And of course, Glens Falls is a much different animal to Saratoga Springs and Saratoga County. They've got their own issues, their own challenges when it comes to economic development. So good news for Ed Bartholomew, a friend of the station, so we congratulate him.
Absolutely.
Looking for a hotel room, perhaps?
It's going to be easier, right?
It's going to be easier. A lot of construction going on around the area in hotels. We talked about this a little earlier in the broadcast. You're looking at some video of the new hotel on Congress Street. Once was a Grand Union grocery store, then it was that movie and a dinner and a movie place, and now it's going to be this Embassy Suites. 149 rooms over there on Congress Street. Nice view of the CVS.
It's surprising, isn't it? I mean, we've lived here now for quite some time, and when we look at this community and the hotels and the expansion, it's amazing how much it's grown just in the last 5 years. I mean, we're talking significant, over 500 new hotel rooms. I mean, that's explosive growth. So somebody definitely feels as though Saratoga's booming.
Yeah, according to bizjournals.com, the Albany Business Review, there are 1,645 hotel rooms in Saratoga Springs alone. By the time this project is done, we have the other project being proposed out on Route 9 down by the State Park for a hotel out there, the hotel, the long stay hotel they're putting in over on Lake Avenue. 580 more rooms in the city. So we're looking at, over 2,000 hotel rooms in Saratoga Springs alone.
Well, there's a lot of work been done with the track. The convention center has been huge growth year over year. They've done a lot of investment there. There's definitely a lot of indicators that people are paying attention to that ability to attract these kinds of events into Saratoga. Even SPAC with all the concerts this year, huge success for them. They've done a really good job. So, everybody's buying into this now, which is good to see.
Well, they're buying into it, but track attendance is down this year. The city seems quieter this summer.
There's about a 3% decline in attendance, they were saying, in the Saratogian, but the actual betting is up. So it may be that we're attracting a slightly less attendance, but the money is coming, and that's a good encouraging sign.
The attendance is down, but also the betting comes from other places in the state as well. So folks may not even be here on the streets of Saratoga.
That's true. It definitely can happen.
Definitely something to watch. We've got a lot of hotels. Of course, real briefly, the Lake George Hotel that was announced today. Could be some competition for the Spa City because, they've got the lake, beautiful area in the Adirondacks, and not that far from Saratoga. So
it should be complimentary, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if it would be complimentary. They'll steal people away from the hotels and say, stay in Lake George. You only have to drive 20, 30 minutes south, and you're in Saratoga. You can enjoy the best of both worlds.
I'd love to check it out because it looks like, when I see in the pictures, it'll be beautiful.
Well, you got a little while to wait.
Yes.
2015, that place will be open.
A little bit.
The hotels in Saratoga open a lot sooner.
Yeah, be fast next year.
All right, Stephen Carleton.
Thanks, David.
First Vice President Janney Montgomery Scott. Great to have you here. As always, to see this segment, head to our website. It's looktvonline.com. We post them there each week, our financial segment with Stephen Carleton.